So you would think that for BC, this company can do no wrong for their WrestleMania main event. If you're new to the channel, allow me to explain a little more in depth. First, allow me to introduce myself. If you're new to the channel, I am BC Amplified. And I'm kind of an anomaly in this community, right? I'm a different breed for many reasons. Veteran subscribers will tell you this, but I'm different in many ways. I don't go along with the pack. I don't go with the cool thing at the moment. I don't jump on board with any narrative that is in the community. I don't have that herd mentality. I don't feel the need to be a part of a movement or something special. No, I'm just me doing my own thing over here. What feels right to BC after doing my research, after using logic and common sense. And then I come to my own conclusions, and we talk about it on this channel. For over 5 years, it's what we've done. We've gone against the grain. We call ourselves a little ECW channel in the community. I love it. So if you are new to the channel, when I say I'm a different breed than the rest of the community, you can look at an example like this very circumstance, where I am a very vocal Cody Rhodes supporter and have been, while at the same time, I've been waiting years to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns, because for BC, that is a legit dream match. Before they even speak a word to one another in a promo, this story is sitting in everybody's lap in Stamford, Connecticut. They get to work a lot easier knowing it's Rock and Roman, because the story writes itself. So for BC, you would think this company can't screw it up. There's no way. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, part 2. While it might not be as exciting as part 1 for BC and a lot of Cody supporters or wrestling fans in general, 39's build was so much fun. With 2 months to go before Mania, this one, we don't even know what match we're getting. So yeah, 39 was a lot more fun. But at least BC gets to see his boy Cody Rhodes do his thing in the main event. And on the flip side, if they go Rock and Roman, I get to see my dream match. So while Rome is burning and everybody is having the meltdown, at least BC will be happy one way or the other. You would think you'd have to really screw this entire thing up. You would have to literally pour gasoline on the entire company and then literally light the match simultaneously to muff this up. That's the only way. That's the only way the situation can be as bad as it is right now going into Mania 2 months away. And that's exactly what they did. They screwed it up to the point where I don't even know if this can be salvaged. And again, you couldn't do any wrong, you would think. Whether it's Cody or The Rock, you can't screw it up. Pick one. Pick one. Just pick one. Just fucking pick one. That's all we're asking. And the thing is, they just don't know, right? While everybody is blaming just The Rock, right? That's the cool thing to do. This entire weekend, The Rock was dragged. Articles from journalists, reporters, content creators, dragging this dude. And he was, when he was beaten down so damn badly, they dragged him some more. Absolutely dragged The Rock for the entire weekend. And everybody kicking while he's down. And I get the game, trust me, not Triple H. I get the platform game, right? Whether it's the journalists, the reporters, the content creators. The more you drag his name, the price goes up. More money, more ups, more subscribers. It was the thing to do. The more salacious the headline, the more you can stomp this dude when he's down. Your numbers will go up. Doesn't matter how far out of bounds you go with what you're writing or typing or saying. It doesn't matter how far, right? The dude's daughter's getting threats, and everybody stops for a second and goes, wow, that's wild. It went that far? Wonder how that happened. Maybe because you created a damn toxic environment to the point where people felt it was okay to do that. Because we're all just joining in. Misery loves company. Everybody's joining in on the beatdown, kicking The Rock when he's down. There was no out of bounds with these people. I saw one thing, I think it was Bubba's podcast, or whoever runs it. Maybe he's just a guest on it. Busted Open, I believe. Where a headline literally was like, Rock bullies his way into WrestleMania. Something like that. Bullies his way. Bullies? How far are we willing to go for a click or an up or a subscriber? Makes me fucking nauseous. Nauseous. Bullies his way like he had Triple H by the throat against the wall telling him how it's gonna go. And then he walks up to Cody and The Rock. He flips him upside down over a toilet like he's about to give him a swirly. You got a problem with it? You got a problem with it? I'm gonna be in the Mania if you somehow... Yeah, he bullied his way. He went through the locker room. He's chucking people in the walls. Anybody got a problem with it? Jacked up delts. It doesn't matter if you have a problem with it. He bullied his way. Bully, that's the words we're using. And then everybody stops for a second and goes, wow, poor Ava. Wow, man. I don't know how it got that far. Anyway, back to The Rock. What a horrible, terrible person. By the way, thank you to all the new subs. 5,000 new subs. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Back to The Rock and how terrible he is. You would think The Rock created World War III. You would literally think he was one of the worst people on planet Earth. The solar system. You would think he was the worst human being on the planet this weekend. The way that he was being talked about. Pathetic. Completely pathetic. And then you wonder why BC doesn't follow the herd. Why BC will never succumb to that sheep mentality. The kicking when they're down mentality. Never. Not how I was raised. Not what I do. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch. We set the tone here. We paved the path. We trailblazed that son of a bitch. We don't follow here, we lead. I don't care if it's the cool thing to do or not. You think BC cares? I'm Mr. Cool wherever the fuck I go. Just the way it is. Facts of life. Everybody just wants to blame The Rock, like this guy every single month, every week, whenever he's on a talk show, a Jimmy Fallon, a damn View, wherever. He is always talking about pro wrestling in the highest of regards, always raising WWE up so that these performers can go out there 365, bust their ass, and get over. Hopefully get to the point where The Rock was, is, and always will be. The Rock is doing his part on a much grander scale. Don't blame The Rock, because 99.99% of these locker rooms, like a Clorox wipe, can't get over when The Rock isn't there, because the truth is he's only there 1 to 2 times every couple 2-3 years. He shows up every now and again. The rest of the time, these wrestlers have the stage. And The Rock promotes this shit 24/7. And the rest of the time, today's wrestler has the entire year to get themselves over, to get reactions that just come close to The Rock's. I love my dude Cody, but there's no way his reaction is anywhere near what you saw in Alabama or LA or NYC or Miami or wherever he shows up. The Rock's reactions, if you've ever been there live, there's nothing like it. When the glass used to shatter for Stone Cold, that would be the only thing you can compare it to. And The Rock only shows up 1 to 2 times every couple 2-3 years. Couple times here and there, The Rock shows up. Very rarely does he show up for a program in a match. His last Mania one might have been 10 plus years ago with John Cena. Maybe he's had a match since then, but that might have been the last one. You acting like this dude comes around every 3 to 4 months to take top spots. What happens the rest of the year? You can't just blame The Rock or a Logan Paul for the reason that the rest of the roster just cannot get over that hump to the next level. But The Rock is the only one to blame. Triple H, nothing. Crickets. Nobody wants to blame Triple H for nothing. BC, it's a power control, man. TKO and The Rock is trying to take Triple H's power from World Wrestling Entertainment, BC. Is that what's happening? Yeah, you know that, right? You were in on the conversation, because Triple H and The Rock are pals, by the way. So I'm pretty sure that H would be in the conversations, right? If The Rock is getting something together with TKO, first of all, he's on the board. He has every right to do business with them, how he sees fit. I'm pretty sure HHH was involved in conversations, though. I doubt The Rock passed Triple H in the hallway or sent him a text message saying, by the way, cancel all your plans for Mania, at least the main event. I'm actually going to do it. Do you realize HHH has said in so many interviews he tries to get The Rock every year? Do you understand HHH and VKM? They want The Rock every year. The Rock says, dude, I understand. I just can't. I don't have the time. It's the scheduling. I'd love to. The whole beating the Sting thing, one of Triple H's big excuses. Well, we didn't know if The Rock was... We wanted to do something big with The Rock and Ronda Rousey. We wanted something big with The Rock and Ronda. You hate to play the blame game, but at some point, you have to blame Paul Levesque McMahon, Triple H. You would have to. The show sucked last night. Did you see the show last night? If you didn't, I'm going to save you a lot of time. I'll go over it. This is the official Raw review for Monday, February 5th, 2024. But in this cold open, I'll let you in on a little secret. The show absolutely sucked yet again. And you just, blame The Rock? You want to blame him for the whole debacle with WrestleMania and solely just blame The Rock? Have a field day. But what, The Rock is now also, he's writing the entire Monday Night Raw programs too? Him and Brian Gerwitz, his lead writer. They're doing the tag teams, the women, R-Truth, and his comedy. It's all Brian Gerwitz and The Rock. Blame The Rock for Raw being so bad? Every week because it is? Now, if it's good, we say, whoa, Paul Levesque McMahon's cooking. H is cooking, right? He's cooking. Cooking what? Ramen noodles? Tortellini soup? Eggs Benedict? What is he cooking? Because it's not a good show. But you can't say that. Nah, H is good, man. Don't blame H in this. Go back to The Rock. What a horrible person. This Rock. All in it for himself, this selfish little... Freaking Rock. You're a pebble. Freaking pebble. This dude on all the talk shows and everything, putting WWE in such a high regard, always mentioning WWE in the best of circumstances and situations. Where these wrestlers have the rest of the year to get over to the level where The Rock was, is, and always will be. The fact that the company fails these wrestlers, or that most of them just don't have the personality and the charisma to connect with the crowd like The Rock does, is not The Rock's fault. The fact that The Rock shows up once or twice every few years and still gets that reaction when most of the roster that's there every week can only get half if they're lucky, says a lot more about their booking day to day than it does about The Rock being selfish. The Rock should be... WrestleMania is now 2 freaking nights. 2! You get 2 main events. The Rock should be able to come back and have a dream match that a lot of fans, even the ones that are lying to themselves today, it's not a match I want. Well, it was for a long time. He should be able to come back and have that match. If things were done correctly, not just because I'm biased to both situations, as a Cody supporter and somebody that wants to see Rock and Roman, if done correctly, you would have had both matches on that weekend. Roman, who only shows up to work 10 or 11 times a year anyway, which is why BC said at 39 it was Cody or bust, because Roman is going away for basically the entire year. And the only time he's going to have matches is basically involved within the bloodline. The Jey Uso match, which was more about the Red Tribal A than it was for the title, so Roman wouldn't need the title. And then the tag matches with Solo versus the Usos, and all the other tag matches. Roman didn't need the title. Cody did. He was having that weird thing with Brock. The only reason Brock would attack him is because Cody now has the title, and Brock couldn't go after Roman anymore. So everything made sense if HHH just did the right thing a year ago. He didn't. And then for the whole year, he booked Cody Rhodes mid-AF. 70 matches with Judgment Day. A weird thing with Brock for 3 months. And then a cherry on top, the Shinsuke feud. Not saying at times some of it wasn't good, decent to good, but nothing to do with Roman Reigns the entire year. And then all of a sudden he wins the Rumble, points at the damn sign, and everybody's like, the story is back. He's gonna finish the story. As a Cody supporter, I wish I was that excited. HHH had no idea where he was going direction-wise with Cody. When Cody lost that match last year, if you think HHH's entire plan was to come back to this a year from now and put the title on Cody, that is not at all. Triple H has 67 other things besides Cody Rhodes when he's thinking ahead. When he thinks ahead. Cody Rhodes is at the bottom of that list. For Paul Levesque McMahon. That's why you saw the booking like you did. If they could land The Rock, they were going to land The Rock. So they were just dragging this thing out with Cody. They didn't know if he was going to win the Rumble or not. And they knew. The report says that The Rock signed this deal early January. Early January. So way before the Rumble. So they still went with this. HHH still went with this. Paul Levesque McMahon just books this weird shit and he thinks he can wiggle out of it because everybody's going to say it's not Paul, it's Vince, it's Rock. Blame Tozowa, blame Stephanie, man. I know she called Paul right before Raw went live. Stephanie rewrote the show, and I bet you it's on behalf of Vince, who I bet you was talking to Rock. Poor Levesque McMahon. His hands are tied. What do you expect him to do, man? He's not going to quit his job. He's only a multi-millionaire. Why would he ever stand up for himself? He continues to get stomped on. But BC, you don't understand business. He's going to take it because he wants more millions of dollars, man. He's not stupid. Okay, so he's not stupid, but he has no self-respect, no moral compass, no pride with what he does. And he just lets people walk on him? Sounds about right, I guess. Paul Levesque McMahon. This show sucked last night. He'll get the whole build for Cody and Roman has sucked. Before The Rock even came back early January to sign that deal, supposedly. This build has sucked. Sucked. Finished the story. It was finished at 39 next to the rubber chicken. Sadly. As a Cody supporter, I was hoping to be wrong. Hoping. I can't wait, man. All right, it's around summertime now, man. Like, we haven't heard a damn thing about Roman and Cody. Let's, pick something. Let's plant some seeds. Nothing. SummerSlam. Nothing. Instead, Brock, who broke Cody's arm 3 times, is hugging him. Oh, this is great for Cody. Okay, now we're getting into Survivor Series time. End of the year. We've heard nothing with Roman and Cody. And Cody has just had 70 matches with the Judgment Day. It's true statistic, by the way. There's got to be something, right? Something is going to happen here for Survivor Series, something big. No, Roman's not even on the show. CM Punk is coming back, in fact, so that muddies the waters even more for Punk. Then it's the Rumble, 2 months before Mania, and they have this dude win, point at the sign, and then point at Roman. Oh, we are doing it? No, we're not doing it. No. We're going to muddy the fucking waters. And then you parade this dude out there on Friday night, and he literally says the words. He says the words, I'm coming for that championship. I'm going to beat you, but not at WrestleMania. He says the words, not at WrestleMania. So now everybody going, WWE has to correct this. How do you do this without making Cody look like more of an idiot? He just said not at WrestleMania. Now the press conference happens on Thursday, and it's at Mania? How do you backtrack that? He said not at Mania. This guy is going to look like a bumbling fool worse than HHH has already made him. Oops, I mean The Rock. Didn't mean to blame HHH. He had nothing to do with this entire year of Cody's booking. And loss at Mania. His hands were tied. He's not thinking of that sledgehammer to the throne in AEW. No, that's not what he didn't punish Cody Rhodes with a loss to Roman Reigns. How do you back away from that statement, not at WrestleMania? And now The Rock's going to look like a fucking idiot because that was obviously the setup on Friday. So then HHH goes and he fucking retweet, repost, whatever it is, George Kittle from the 49ers, a tight end, star player who's playing in the Super Bowl. And this dude, George, he says, this wasn't my idea, but I like it. What if Cody just faces Roman, but The Rock is there, like a ref? And Levesque McMahon repost it and says, George, the best tight end, or something like that. He knows what's up. He knows what's up, says Triple H. So he's just pinned everybody into a corner. Now The Rock has to be a referee. He goes from staring down Roman Reigns because he already declared it's time to be the real head of the table because he truly is. And Roman's been delusional for years. That's The Rock's way of thinking. So he says he's coming for the head of the table. They have the stare down. And The Rock just meant, I'm going to be a referee. I'm going to be a referee. Cody, who said, I'm definitely not taking you on at WrestleMania, he changed his mind. You better tell this flawlessly Thursday at this press conference. You better like Rock and him had a long talk, and no matter what, the television we just saw this week alone, we can never get that back. How bad this was done, how much they screwed this up, and then Paul Levesque McMahon just puts this out. Like, even if Rock is going to be the referee, and that's the decision that's going to be said, make that spontaneous, right? That's part of the story so we can believe it on Thursday or on Raw next week or on Friday this week, SmackDown. Don't just say it like that, because now it just looks like you're in scramble mode looking for the weirdest of options. The only thing stupider is a triple threat match, which some fans, they're not even thinking clearly. Do you realize some fans are like, the way to rectify this is to have a triple threat match, add Cody. But however they do it, they just have to add Cody, and that's going to correct this. Are you fucking stunad? Are you stunad? That's not even the question. How much stunad are you? How stupid? Cody Rhodes has nothing to do with The Rock and Roman Reigns' story. That's the whole, it's the actual bloodline. It's the actual head of the table. The Rock is the real provider. Roman has been living in this delusional world for years where he thinks he's their actual provider of the that has nothing to do with Cody. Vice versa. Rock has nothing to do with Cody and Roman. There is no real story to be finished anymore. Again, that was dead at the next to the rubber chicken. But okay. Let's just have everybody finish this damn story so we can all move on. But The Rock has nothing to do with this story. Why would Rock and Cody be in a triple threat? They just shook hands and hugged it out on Friday, and now they're in a match, which they have no business being in. So it's one or the other. I don't even care at this point. Again, BC would win either way. If you want Cody and Roman, make the decision. If you're going to do Roman and Rock, make the decision. Do not do a triple threat, because that is obnoxiously stupid on a whole nother level. And 2 wrongs don't make a right. And WWE right now is at 100 wrongs. So they're lost. Triple threat my ass. Will somebody start thinking clearly? Fucking IWC sometimes. They don't think. They just turn in. They all think they're bookers. And they actually ruin many years' WrestleManias. Many. Same fucking idiots that wanted Daniel Bryan in the Edge Roman match. To this day, Daniel Bryan says, I don't know why I was in it. It felt awkward the entire time. Well, blame the fans. They cried their way to get you into a triple threat that Edge and Roman didn't need you in. Didn't even make sense. Last year, we could have gotten Cody. Cody would have won that match. More than likely. Vince was still... Vince was still heavy into the weeds. But man, when everybody started going struggle in adversity, man, that opened the window for HHH big time, right? He was like, well, you know... big part of the fans will support this. Struggle in adversity. Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm going to make them lose. Meanwhile, the whole freaking, he's replaying the sledgehammer to the throne in AEW, right? But he's got the window because enough fans, the same ones, by the way, that claim this every WrestleMania season, these fans try to hijack WrestleMania. And they somehow find a way to make it worse. Edge versus Roman does not need a third person. Let's cry and get Daniel Bryan in the match. How'd that work out? Roman just stacked them up and pinned them. That was it. A forgettable main event. And then you had struggling adversity last year. How'd that work out for you? Now look at the mess we're in. Well, B&C, we didn't know The Rock was going to come. Cody was an irrelevant factor to Roman the entire year. So it became less fun for a lot of us, even Cody supporters. Sure, you still want to see him just finish the damn story, but it wasn't as fun as 39, and you know it. They didn't even add to the story. They just stayed clear of it. What's the plan? Go to Rumble, win it, and point at the sign, and then Roman. There you go. Story reignited. And we didn't even have to talk about it for the whole year. No, that doesn't add up. That's not fun. Struggle and adversity, they claimed. And here we are. Every time these stupid little... This fake outrage, I call it. Once in a blue moon, there's a benefit to it, right? Once in a blue moon, it just makes sense. And it's actually good. Where we're not just making the problem worse and even worse, right? Like Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. Now that's something where literally that was universal. There was no divide on that. Or however you want to look, 60-40, 70-30 reaction. But no, it wasn't like, we all were like, dude, it's D-Bry. This is just muddying the waters even more. Pick one. I don't even give a shit. If it's Cody versus Roman, fucking do it. And if Rock has to wear fucking stripes and count the 3, and that'll be the reason that he fends off the bloodline maybe, and he's the one to count to 3, and then he hoists up Cody's arm, and everybody cheers as we go off the air, and The Rock gets to avenge that Royal Rumble from years ago when he held up Roman's hand and everybody booed. And now he gets to hold up Cody's, and everyone's gonna cheer. Yeah! Oh! And we can go off the air. And then next year, we'll do Rock and Roman, right? Because everybody got their way. Now we have to wait a year. Is there really going to be build? Or is it just going to be one of those Cena Rock things where we waited a year and we said, okay, this is going to be a fun year of build. And they didn't do jack shit. Nothing. Every once in a while, they would like remind people, by the way, WrestleMania in 7 months. Oh, we're just muddying the waters. Nobody knows what's going on. Cody is pointing at signs, and then Roman, then he's standing in the ring saying, I want the title, but not at WrestleMania. Now, all of a sudden, Triple H is alluding to The Rock will be a referee. After The Rock literally faced off with Roman to say WrestleMania. Head of the table, Mania, right? It's all over the headlines, and WWE showed those headlines, by the way, last night. So WWE is just playing all sides of the fence here because they don't know what they're doing anymore. That's what I mean. This is no longer just one or two people. This is, if you're going to blame Rock or Brian Gerwitz or TKO and Ari Emanuel, you better also blame Paul Levesque McMahon and anybody, Nicholas Khan. Anybody that has clear direction in this company because it's not so clear right now. And everybody should share a piece of that blame pie. This is a fucking mess. This is a mess. As a Cody supporter that actually wants to see Roman and Rock as well, not just Cody finish a story or hoist up a title, I'm down for both. And they found a way to make both miserable. It's like we're just trying to get through WrestleMania now, where fans are literally trying to think of how WWE can get out of this situation. Yeah, that's not so fun, is it, for us? Where we can sit back and just enjoy wrestling, man. Just enjoy wrestling. We're gonna watch a match and we're gonna go, this is awesome in the middle of it. And when it's done, we're gonna rate it 6 stars. No. You can't do that though, can you? Little wrestling fan. You can't do it because you're too busy trying to book the show because first of all, you're a smart fan. And number two, you got no choice. WWE can't book WrestleMania properly. This situation absolutely sucks. You know, all kidding aside, man, this is just unreal. Unreal. And it's before The Rock even got there. You know, everybody just wants to focus on him and drag him. That's your prerogative. But before that, on this channel, we just speak facts, right? We call it like we see it. And every week, what are we saying? What are we doing, by the way, with Cody in this story? What is Cody exactly doing with Judgment Day the entire year? What are we doing with Cody and Brock? Like, to this day, Michael Cole is even asking what the reasoning is why Brock attacked Cody. We never got that, by the way. Right? On this channel, we kept calling out this booking that didn't make sense and was not getting anybody excited for WrestleMania 40. We called that out week to week. You know, when asked, BC, man, I know you're a big Cody supporter. You must have felt Cody was done dirty on Friday, right? The way they made him look. I said, no, he was done filthy. But it wasn't just Friday. It began at 39 when they actually made him lose. And the rubber chicken next to him, that was added insult to injury, right? Salt to the wound. That's all that was. He was done filthy, but it was a year ago. And the booking this entire year did no favors for him. So when The Rock came back for his dream match because he carved out that time, yeah. Now we have a situation where people literally thought Cody was always going to finish the story, but with HHH, that was never the case. It was always left. Every year it is left open for The Rock. Just can't do it. As a Cody supporter, I did not see this type of support for Cody the entire year. Especially at 39 when I was saying Cody or bust. Or guys, don't trust WWE with the booking this year. He's got to win at 30. Every time I was calling out from the mountaintop in support of Cody, there wasn't that type of support behind him. All of a sudden, here it is WrestleMania time, and that portion of the IWC says, now it's time. We have to hijack. Let's hijack WrestleMania. Oh, man, I tell you. So anyway, it's a mess. It's a mess. The show sucked last night, so HHH we can't even just say, The Rock, let's ruining Mania. But at least Raw was amazing, because Triple H is in charge. No. Fucking Raw sucked. Raw sucked. And upon my research yet again, which you have to check out sometimes because fans say don't blame Triple H, well, guess what? He's still the chief content creative officer. Still him. Let's go over it. Let's see. Right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Monday Night Raw. Let's just listen to this. Listen to this show. Oh, and by the way, wait till you hear how they kicked it off. February 5th, 2024, Monday Night Raw, Hour 1. We start with a video package of The Rock face-to-face with Roman. So this is WWE being defiant as ever. Like, unfazed. Like, all right, this is... we're not shying away from it. This is what happened. This was the reaction from the crowd. Everybody went ballistic. Just because we know you're seeing another whole narrative out there and there's fans that are upset, but this is what happened in real time. You know, and Rock, man, he posted this funny thing where there was like other content creators that were flipping out when The Rock came back. And then you just see within 24 hours, like now the reaction is part of the herd, you know, like their titles are now like The Rock, the Rock hijacks WrestleMania, or The Rock weasels his way into WrestleMania, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, you were flipping out, man. How do you change in 24 hours? Like, you know what I mean? Herd mentality. When everybody else, you know, is raising the most noise, you feel like you got to be a part of that, you know? You don't want to be the outsider. You don't want to be on the outskirts. Pathetic. So they play the video package. That was real time. Everybody going ballistic. Sethington Rollins then kicks it off. He says that it sounds like a pop to me, the ovation that he got. Of course, this was a jab over to Roman Reigns because, well, Friday night, Roman just went at him. And that's because a week earlier, Sethington Rollins opened up open season on Roman Reigns and taking jabs at him. They did not talk to each other beforehand. They just told Seth to go out there and kind of run down that title. And he did. And Roman didn't like it. That was real, by the way. He didn't like it. So Roman went out there, and I think a lot of this was obviously Paul Heyman's jabs. It was too witty. I like Roman. It was one of his best promos ever this past Friday, by the way. But a lot of that's Paul Heyman. His actual counsel behind the scenes as well. So Roman Reigns just lit him up, right? Just because you walk around two years with your wife's clothes on doesn't make you the actual man around here. And he says, my little brother Seth, and and there was like, it wasn't that loud of a reaction, I guess. So he says, just as I thought, no reaction. So that really pissed off Rollins clearly, because he opens this up with, sounds like a good reaction to me. Or no, he says, sounds like a pop to me. Because Roman's actual words were, yep, just as I thought, no pop. So he said it twice, guys. And then Seth, they did his little song, and Seth goes, another pop. Imagine that. So really trying to tell Roman, I don't know what you're hearing, bro, but I'm super over. So the crowd starts a "We want Cody" chant. We want Cody. And the camera pans to the crowd, and sure enough, all these fans have a "We want Cody" sign, right? So we're hearing mixed reports that some fans brought in like a bunch of copies, and that WWE was actually distributing them to certain sections that would be camera ready. So at any point, if camera B or camera C has to do a tilt, that section's right there. So WWE, I guess, was handing signs out, and fans had their own different type, because there was at least two separate versions of the sign. So it's exactly what we said, right? And I made a post on this, an upload 1 or 2 uploads ago about that. That's how WWE was going to go forward with this. They're going to just insert it with the storyline. And The Rock is more than ready if he's going to wrestle Roman still, if they decide to do that and not the referee gig. Because again, stay away from the triple threat. I'd rather just Cody versus Roman one-on-one then. Just keep Rock out of it if that's the case. And if you go Rock and Roman, then keep Cody out of it, but no triple threat. But if Rock is not putting on pinstripes or the referee stripes, I'm not trying to put The Rock on the New York Yankees. Referee stripes, not the pinstripes. If he's not in the ref stripes, then, he's wrestling, and he's more than okay with whatever reaction he gets. He's okay being more of the heel in the match. He's looking at it like a WrestleMania 18 situation where that double turn was complete. Hogan became insta-face, Rock became insta-heel. And Rock just got better as the match went on, the more they booed. So he's more than okay with that. And this is just what WWE was doing right from the jump. Michael Cole was mentioning this "We want Cody" movement and showing the signs. I mean, you could tell right from the jump that they're kind of playing with the fans. They just already made this a storyline. Damage control already in motion. Everybody relax. WWE has not just acknowledged it. They're making a part of the show. So I know some fans are like, good, they hurt us. Other fans are like, they're manipulating us. Now they're just mocking us. Cameras pointing at all the "We want Cody" signs that WWE distributed. Cody then comes out, and he's more popular now than before, by the way. So maybe a thank you, Rock. Just saying, man. This, as a Cody supporter, I'm telling you right now, I mean, the support that Cody has, the reaction from the jump last night, it's much bigger and better and louder. All right. Thanks, Rock. I don't just saying, man. I mean, Cody is more over now than he was a week ago. Again, this is coming from a dude that supports him, so I would know. And then Cody, so he comes out. There's a few, like 20, 25 fans yelling, "Rocky sucks, Rocky sucks." Kidding, it was a few hundred. Literally only a few, like 2 to 3. Like, if you listen, watch and listen, it's like 200 to 300 people, maybe. Rocky sucks, Rocky. Now, and then reports are like, well, they muted them out. Watch. Everybody's standing there. Nobody's even saying it, right? There's a few angles that tried to get the ones that were saying it. Like, you see a dude with like a red beard, or a red neck beard, right? He's like trying to get his whole section. You could see him in the background. He's like, "Rocky sucks! Rocky, come on, guys! Rocky sucks!" You could tell he's the type of fan that in a fucking Tozowa Ivar match, 60 seconds into it, he's gonna try to get section 307 to yell, "This is awesome! Come on, guys!" Come on, man. This is awesome. Do. This is awesome. Come on. Hey, Section 205. Come on, man. Join in, man. We're gonna do the "This is awesome" chant, man. Come on the count of 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. This is awesome. This is awesome. Had a lot of coffee. Anyway, he's that type of dude. I mean, you literally see everybody else is just like kind of staring, and this one, Rocky sucks! Rocky sucks! You could tell he lived on the fucking interweb machine for the entire fucking weekend. Probably one of the fans that printed out signs, yeah, man, fucking, we want Cody, man. There's a few hundred people, of course. I knew instantly. I mean, I'm like, anybody that's trying to get clicks, trying to get subscribers from the fucking hate train, right? Misery loves company. Jump on board. We're going to talk about how miserable and horrible of a person Rock is for the 19th upload in a row. Right? I knew everybody's headline was going to be like the Rocky sucks chants, which was a few hundred. And HHH had Michael Cole ready, by the way. They were ready. They didn't even wait. It never really caught on, but it didn't need to. They already hit Michael Cole. HHH told Michael Cole to do the 1996 line. He said something like, whoa, are we back in 1996? Something like that, I think he said. So they had Michael Cole ready, man. I mean, literally, once it started, he was already there. And by the time he finished the line, it pretty much died. I truly thought, guys, it was going to be the reaction on the interweb machine, I know, is not the same thing at the arenas, but I truly thought like it was going to be a lot louder, like the Rocky sucks chants and even worse. I thought Rocky was going to be booed out of the building, in which it's a building he's not even in at the time, and he's going to be booed out the building. I thought it was going to be really bad. No, it wasn't. It actually was not bad. It was a, and again, anybody saying like they dimmed it down. Main event, maybe they tried to start it up again, and WWE just wanted nothing to do with it then because they feel they did a good enough job of damage control. So we're not even going to revisit it. So maybe later in the night, but on that opening segment, if you just look at the crowd, most were not in on it. I mean, on that hard cam, I mean, you just saw people not saying it. You know, Seth Rollins is like, wow, wasn't thinking I was going to hear that one. So they even had Seth Rollins ready for a reaction, but they jumped it. If they just didn't say anything, I don't think that chant was ever catching on. Interesting. Drew McIntyre then hits the ring. He begs Cody to reconsider his WrestleMania decision. Seth and Drew then go on a 5-minute back and forth before Drew hits Rollins with a glass cow kiss headbutt. And then Cody helps Sethington. Cody drops Drew, and the segment just ends with Cody's music. Cody never said a word. Never said a word. The crowd was lightning hot for Cody 5 minutes earlier, and 5 minutes later, they were silent. That's not Rocky booking that. That's HHH. Right from the jump, just explain what's going on. You had the whole weekend to make a decision, or at least make yourself, the company, look somewhat smart. Make Cody look somewhat like less of a dummy. He's out there with a mic and he can't even get away. Drew won't let him speak. Seth won't let him speak. It's like a fucking toddler who's being yelled at by his parents. Do as we say, not as we do. Can't even talk to anybody. Doesn't say a word. The show gets so bad after that during the night, Cody Rhodes actually sends out a tweeter on the tweeter machine or the Xe machine, whatever you want to call it, the social doohickey. He sends out a message. He's like, I appreciate the passion, guys, but trust me, will ya? So he's basically telling everyone, listen, I appreciate it, but shut up. Trust me. Relax. They probably know Roman's going to get Hulk Hogan's record, by the way. So no matter what, Roman's walking out of Mania with the that's what it seems like. Right? All of this to get Cody in the main event. The ultimate troll job by HHH is to say, all right, you got it. And then he's flat on his back looking up at the lights, this time next to 5 rubber chickens. Because the word around the campfire, basically confirmed, at this moment anyway, is that Roman's coming out of Mania 40 with the title. So, all of this is probably going to be just for Cody to look up at the fucking lights again, you know? And if The Rock is the referee, that's your best chance to have Cody actually win the title then. And then Roman comes up a few months short from Hulk Hogan, which, by the way, in yesterday's upload, I don't know why, I thought Berlin was the event. I was 20 days short. Unit, I appreciate that. It's actually 2 to 3 weeks afterwards. So whatever that September PPV is, and that's not as big as Berlin in Germany. Bash in Berlin. So that means Roman would hold the title bare minimum until Survivor Series, you would have to think. So he just didn't even say, that's not Rocky's booking though last night. I mean, HHH has to do much. This dude had to go out there and explain, like try to make some sense for us. Nothing. And I know half of it's because this company doesn't know what they're doing yet, which is more than half the problem. The other half is I truly believe that even if they did, this is the type of segment we would have gotten. It makes WWE sense, which is none. Literally says nothing, and that's how we open the show. And by the end of the 3 hours, he doesn't say anything. He just goes on the social doohickey machine and he says, just trust me, because he probably knows. He knows he's going to lose at Mania, or the original plan. If they do pivot and go Rock in a referee shirt, maybe that's Cody's best chance at winning. Or The Rock freaking turns on Cody for all we know, joins the bloodline, tries to infiltrate, and that's going to make him look like a freaking idiot. Obviously, people are going to be pissed that he screwed. I don't even know. I don't know how you get out of this situation. But that's not Rocky's booking. That's HHH that thought that was the way that we're going to silence it. And it worked, because at the end of that segment, Cody's music hits and everybody is silent. Everybody's like, wow, that was it. Did we just get... Yes, Triple H manipulated the fuck out of you. And it worked. They acknowledged the movement. You got your acknowledgement. Everybody, they showed the signs that you got the Rocky sucks chant out, and then they said, all right, you done? Now shut up, on with the show. And everybody pretty much for the rest of the show, shut up. DIY wins a fatal 4-way tag match to determine who takes on Judgment Day next for the tag titles. DIY defeated Vinci of Imperium. Also in this match was the Creed Brothers and the New Day. DIY now takes on Petey Dunne and Tyler Bate on SmackDown, who Michael Cole kept calling Butch last night. And DYI, not DIY. Michael Cole was... Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, it felt like it was the last place they wanted to be last night. It just feels like Pat McAfee and I love Mac. I really do, man. Pat McAfee. What a character. What a talent. But, I mean, he always goes on his show that the next day after a Raw or the Royal Rumble, and he's always talked about how, like, he doesn't know a lot of the stories. He doesn't know some of the wrestlers. And I'm like, damn, man, we don't want to know that, dude. You got one of the lead commentators, and he doesn't even really know the product. You know, you don't want to know that about Pat Mac, man. So that's why he's always clueless there. It's half the reason we love him, because it's a raw reaction, literally and figuratively. But on top of that, it's also one of the things that kind of hinders Pat, because you do want him to know that, but you don't want to know more than the lead commentator, man. You at least want him to know the wrestlers, right? Like when Jordan Grace comes out of the room, you want him to know who Jordan Grace is, man. I know she's not in WWE, and I'm not asking him to watch Impact or TNA or to know all the Japanese ladies in Japan. I'm not asking Pat to do that. It'd be nice if you knew who Jordan Grace was, bro. That's bare minimum outside of WWE to know. It just felt like they were just botching so much and didn't even care. It's like no effort was put into this show, man. Anyway, there was a moment where the crowd chanted, "This is awesome," right? And probably the same little fucking redneck bearded dude. "This is awesome." And Cole and McAfee were silent for the chant a tad longer than usual. Sometimes they let the chant go and then they go, "This is awesome." On this occasion, they let it go a tad longer. And then Michael Cole finally jumped in and was like, "Don't you miss this, Pat? Isn't this amazing?" That was HHH screaming from Gorilla into Michael Cole's headset, "Quiet, let him chant." You know what I mean? All the bitching and moaning and complaining about how bad WWE is booking and the mess that we're in for Mania season. Oh, what's that? This is awesome. HHH wanted everybody to know, relax. You've just been manipulated. H was loving that, man. He's thinking, he's backstage in Gorilla going, simpletons. To end hour one Elimination Chamber qualifier match, it was announced backstage that there'll be an Elimination Chamber match to determine the number one contender for Rhea Ripley's Women's Championship. This was Becky Lynch defeating Shayna Baszler via the manhandle slam. Baszler took it horribly, by the way. Barely got a foot off the ground. Lynch is now headed to the Elimination Chamber to earn a shot at Rhea's championship, which we do believe is the case. I was also hearing, though, and still hearing, that could end up a triple threat with Liv Morgan. So not just Becky versus Rhea, but Liv Morgan as well. We'll see how that shapes out. And I'm still waiting for the Baszler push that everybody said when HHH gets in. Man, when HHH gets a hold of Baszler, as the head of creative, Baszler is going to go to the moon. Sorry, Cameron Grimes had to do that, man. Sorry, not sorry. Shayna Baszler, that's what we were hearing, right? Shayna Baszler's still taking L's. The only difference, she gets another minute or two to wrestle Becky. And after seeing that match, probably shouldn't have. That ended hour one. So again, hour number one was just Cody Rhodes not saying a damn word. We got answers. HHH manipulating the crowd, and it worked. Becky Lynch in a weird victory over Shayna. Shayna takes another L. And then DIY wins a multi-man schmaz match to try to get us to a title match with Judgment Day. So then we go over to hour number two. Hour two starts with Adam Pearce declaring that Rhea Ripley will face Nia Jax at the... Now, hour two was the worst of them all. Listen to this. Rhea Ripley will face Nia Jax at the Elimination Chamber. The crowd gave zero reaction. Nia then drops and squashes Rhea with her entire ass. Jumps, the Yokozuna ass splash. Jumps off that second rope and boom in the turnbuckle and just boom. It squashes Rhea. Like we've seen a few weeks ago. Rhea's already been squashed by her. So, and the crowd at this point is now asleep as the segment ends. So they gave no reaction when the announcement was made. Nia comes to the ring, takes out Rhea, and the crowd at this point is asleep. Then Ivar defeats Tozowa via pinfall. At this point, the crowd is firmly snuggled into their seats with a blanket and a cup of hot tea. Because hour two was feeling like bedtime. Ivar defeating Tozowa after Rhea Ripley is taken out by Nia Jax. Nia Jax, Tozowa. Yes, hour two is just freaking WrestleMania season. Backstage, R-Truth still thinks he's with Judgment Day. Everyone leaves the clubhouse not wanting to deal with him. This leaves only Damian Priest, and he tells Truth to make himself at home. I don't even care at this point. I'm digging the dynamic between Priest and Truth. Should Priest go face, Truth is the great vehicle to get him there, because you're seeing this kind of good side to Damian Priest, not so much of a prick. He's got a little soft spot for R-Truth. I do like it. Truth is funny, by the way. It's so stupid, the comedy sometimes. It's the bad type of confusing, but Truth is still just amazing. So I don't know, this dynamic with him and Priest, it actually does work. Then it's back to the ring in more hour two misery, right? Because Miz defeats JD McDonutts via pinfall off of the skull-crushing finale. JD McDonutts is just the loser. JD is the loser of all losers in these matches, right? He doesn't win. He's the mayor of Jobberville. He's a fucking loser. A straight up loser. Miz defeats JD McDonutts via pinfall off of skull-crushing finale. And you're wondering, what the fuck is the use for JD McDonutts in this company? Why is he even there? I mean, just bring back the Brooklyn Brawler at 60 some odd years of age. And the ending to this match, confusing to a degree to which I don't even want to bother deciphering what was happening, because I truly don't even know. Like, on the outside, R-Truth has Dom trapped in a t-shirt, a Judgment Day t-shirt, and then he hands a wad of cash to JD McDonutts from the Judgment Day t-shirt distribution, his side gig, hands the cash over to McDonutts, and I guess that causes the distraction for skull-crushing finale. Truth is funny, I just don't know what he's doing, man. It's funny to a point, and then it's just like, now we're doing weird things that don't even make sense. Like, I like Priest and Truth. I like what they got going. Maybe if R-Truth wasn't actually costing Judgment Day all of these matches, or actually wrestling Judgment Day. R-Truth is taking on Judgment Day many weeks, like fighting them, beating them, and then turning around and going, hey guys, we buddies? And Judgment Day doesn't do anything. You would think this diabolical heel faction would be dropping him every time he enters the clubhouse. Instead, after all Truth has done to that group, and the L's that he has racked up for him, and actually has taken them on, they're just like, oh, Truth, clean up when you leave the clubhouse. We're out of here. I don't know, man. Truth is funny. Love the dude. These segments are getting really weird, though. I can't even explain to you what's happening. Next up, hour 3. That was hour 2. Nia Jax squashed Rhea Ripley. Ivar defeated Tozowa. And Miz defeated JD McDonutts. And that was hour 2. No joke, man. That was hour 2. Hour number 3, we go to a Gunther 600-day IC title reign celebration. So Jey Uso would end up interrupting this IC title reign celebration of 600 days for Gunther. There was a whole lot of yeeting. I don't know if that's supposed to be this day's what, but that was a lot of yeeting. That's all I'll say. They set up an IC title feud, I guess, for Mania. Maybe they'll rush this to Chamber, but it gets physical, and the New Day evens the odds, and that was the segment. I like Jey Uso, that's obvious. If you're new to the channel, that's my favorite tag team, the Usos. It's cool to see them individually, but I mean, I love seeing Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, rock the tag team division. This is twofold for me because I have such respect, and again, it's my favorite tag team, the Usos. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, Jay, man, get that shine. On the other hand, my problem is I'm not believing Jey Uso is the guy that's going to beat Gunther in this historic title reign, guys. I mean, Gunther has been stacking him up, and Jey, you would have to completely overbook this. And for anyone that goes, nah, BC, Jay's got to do it clean to really symbolize that he's the guy. I don't see it that way at all, man, at all. I don't think anybody's going to care. It's sitting right there, right? Imperium interferes, and then Jey Uso has help. Now, I would like it more than just the New Day, just because they're in a feud with Imperium as well. Something much grander to help out, and it could help catapult Gunther's next feud, right? Like maybe Braun Breaker. You plant some seeds. Breaker showed up last night, right before this match, by the way. So maybe they are going to plant something with Breaker and Gunther. Maybe Jay will take on Gunther for Chamber, and it'll be Breaker and Gunther at Mania. Who knows? But if Jay's going to be the one to do this, then like plant seeds for Breaker and have Braun Breaker. That way, Jay gets the title. Gunther doesn't lose that much, though, because there was a whole bunch of schmozzery. His people got involved, and then Braun Breaker even the odds, so even Gunther can blame his own Imperium mates. Right, and then you set up something so Gunther doesn't have, you can move on with that title. And Gunther will have something right before he goes to that main event level scene, with the Sethingtons and the Punks and the LA Knights and the Ortons and the Sami Zayns and all those type of matches. Because right now, Gunther's only had mid-card matches, right? Tozowa, Bronson Reed, Tommaso Ciampa, Miz, Chad Gable. These are the matches that Gunther has had because he's a mid-card title holder in the mid-card. And that's fine. Braun Breaker would be a really good feud for both. Introduce Braun Breaker to the big stage and also have Gunther primed. The stop right after his IC title reign and right before that big main event push. Something like that, more than just the New Day helped Jey Uso win the title. That is the only way I can believably see Jey Uso with the championship, guys. This is coming from a mega fan of Usos for sure. Huge supporter of Uso, but whoa. He's the guy to beat Gunther? I mean, people were just a week or two ago, before the whole VKM situation just imploded. Everybody was talking about Brock Lesnar taking on Brock Lesnar. Now we're talking Jason Uso. So if he's going to win the title, I'm more than okay with it. But man, put some thought into it. Overbook the finish a little bit. Everybody will be better. Don't worry. Jey Uso does not have to cleanly pin Gunther, which I'm starting to hear. Stop cleanly. But what? You don't want that going forward with Gunther. You don't want to be reminded of that. You want the overbook, and that's going to be helpful for Gunther going forward without the title. Trust me on this, man. Just odd. We all like Jey Uso, but it's like, what are we doing here? And they could do that for the Chamber, I guess, and do Braun Breaker. Who knows? But is that too much for Braun straight out to be the one to just get to the Raw roster and then take the title from Gunther? I don't know, man. The way he's been booked in NXT this whole last year, it's actually hurt Braun Breaker. He should have been called up a year ago. Literally, guys, last year's WrestleMania, instead of being at Stand and Deliver or whatever, he should have been main roster bound, or do Stand and Deliver, and then on that Monday Night Raw after Mania, Braun Breaker should have showed up. Kabuki Warriors defeat Carter and Chance to retain the tag titles. Kari hits the insane elbow on Chance for the pin. This was a rough crowd reaction. They just didn't care, and it wasn't that good of a match. And these ladies are much better than that. Asuka for sure. Kari, no doubt. Chance and Carter, I dig them. I really do. They got it. That finisher, it has to be tweaked because that keg stand never really lands where it should. It's like a Charlie Flair moonsault. You could pretty much put money on the fact that it's never going to land. But other than that, Chance and Carter are pretty... I said charter. What are they, a bus? Chance and Carter, man, they're good. This did not work out. If anything, their first match was probably better than this. I can't even recall. It's not memorable, but it's probably better than this. The crowd was totally checked out, but the show sucked that bad, man. The show was that bad, man. So when the Kabuki Warriors won this, it was not a great match anyway. And then that crowd reaction just pretty much summed up the entire night. Cody Rhodes is in the main event against Shinsuke Nakamura. This is a bull rope match. Cody Rhodes wins this match via Crossroads. This is a rematch from Madison Square Garden. It was a house show, but a really big one, right after the holidays, right after Christmas. The match was it was well touted, so they wanted to do it on TV, and this is where they decided to do it. I didn't mind it. It was funny. I blinked, or I was doing my notes for you guys or something, and I look up and Cody's all red, and I'm like, oh, whoa, he busted open the hard way because it looked like he got hit with the cowbell, right? And it ends up being the red mist from Shinsuke. So it's their way to get out of it with the USA Network. Like, make everyone feel like it is the blood, but it's actually mist, USA Network. That's what we said. That's what it is. But they want the illusion that he's busted up, right? They've done this in the past too. And with Cody, with that damn beach blonde hair, the red really sticks out. So anyway, I looked up. I thought he actually got, busted open, but no, he did not. It was just the red mist. The show ends with Drew McIntyre hitting the ring and taking out Rhodes. As he stands over Cody, Drew McIntyre is looking at the WrestleMania sign. So they're still teasing a triple threat. Drew McIntyre, Sethington Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? It's like they're just going to go into Thursday and I mean, at this point, right now, I bet you by the time you guys are watching this or listening to this review, they're probably all talking about, well, you know, what's our best course of action? What do we do? Are we changing all plans? Are we changing some of them? Should we tweak this? Should we just put The Rock in a damn referee shirt? And if we do, then do we end Roman's title reign this close to Hulk Hogan's, which was the whole HHH plan? Everything is in there, right? Everybody that's just going, HHH, man, he was going to go with Cody winning the title this year. No, HHH is going with Roman Reigns keeping his title, just so you know. So with The Rock as a referee, maybe that does alter everything. It's just so odd because Rock came back to take on Roman and all of a sudden he's in a referee shirt so that Cody can do a story that Triple H gave up on after he was laying next to the rubber chicken. None of it makes sense. Other than they just covered all their bases, right? They mentioned several times that it's not yet official, the match. You got to tune in to Thursday. But then they ended the night with the final visual of Cody needing to get that revenge back on Drew. And Drew's looking at the Mania sign like, well, that's where we're going to do it. Drew versus Cody with Seth and his title on the line. That's the final image. HHH remains defiant. That's the match you're going to get as of now, unless we all change course. That's Monday Night Raw 2/5/24. That's the real deal, Holyfield, from the Amplified Man. For now, until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we are out. BC saying check you. Deuces, ooses. Super Bowl coming up. Go long. All the way to, I got an arm. This is going at least 70 or 80 yards. Let's rock. Go farther. Come on. Here it comes.